Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Everyday Black History. Now, today on Everyday Black History, we're going to be talking about a brother by the name of Thomas Talley. And Thomas Talley was a chemistry professor at Fisk University, and he also had the unique but important hobby of collecting African American folk songs. Now, a little background information on Thomas Talley. He was born October 9th, 1870, in Shelbyville, Tennessee, and he was one of 8 children born to George Washington and Lucinda Talley. He attended public school for 6 years, followed by high school and college at Fisk University, where he received his BA in 1890 and a master's degree in 1893. In 1899, he received his doctorate degree from Walden University, and he completed his dissertation at the University of Chicago many years later at the age of 61. Now, Thomas Talley helped to mold and was a large influence on a lot of young minds, male and female, in the black community. He taught at several black colleges, Alcorn A&M, FAMU, which is also Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida, and he also taught at the Tuskegee Institute in Tuskegee, Alabama. From 1903 to 1942, he taught chemistry and biology at his alma mater at Fisk University, where he also taught St. Elmo Brady, who became the first African American to receive a Ph.D. in chemistry, and he received that in 1916. So you can imagine, based off of teaching at four different black colleges, you can imagine how many minds, young black minds, male and female, that he molded positively. Now, as mentioned, he collected African American folk music, and this was important because it was a collection. It was a collection. It came out in 1922, entitled "Negro Folk Rhymes, Wise and Otherwise," and it contained 349 different African American folk songs and spirituals that dated way back to the slave times. And it was important because there was no other compilation of its kind, dedicated to African American music. Actually, it wasn't any compilations dedicated to any kind of music of this magnitude containing this many songs. And the reason why this was important because it marked a turning point in the study of African American verse. Before this book came out, there was little note that was taken to black traditions. So this book helped open a lot of eyes to Negro folk songs and African American verse that dated back to slave times hundreds of years ago. So that's why the publication of this book was so important to black history and black culture. Thomas Talley married in 1899, and he had 2 daughters, and not much is known about his family. But based off what we covered, his contribution to black history, his molding of many minds from teaching at 4 different HBCUs, this compilation of these African American folk songs, we can see that he gave a large contribution to black culture. So Thomas Talley, we thank you for your contribution and we salute you. And that concludes today's episode of Everyday Black History. And please tune in as we'll be having more people, more institutions that we'll be highlighting and opening people's minds to. So stay tuned.